This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
Welcome to another episode of Random Ish with Sanja. How you doing? I'm good. We're, coming out. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit, which is good. We are making it through, holding tight, keeping the faith, making sure that everybody is doing their parts and staying safe. I don't want to sound too heavy for this episode, right? But I got a lot that's on my mind. Staying safe, triggered the whole point of this podcast. And staying safe, that takes on many different areas of life, right? We want to stay safe with our health. We want to stay safe with our money. We want to stay safe with the people that we invite into our lives. We want to stay safe with our spouses. You want to stay safe in your home, in your school, when you're in your car. Comfort. There's a situation that has come to mind that I feel like I need to share my experience on, and in hopes that maybe, just maybe, if somebody is going through something similar, they can find a glimmer of hope. I'm talking about women's safety and relationships and love, and our sometimes misguided thinking and beliefs of what love is, and how women should expect to be treated. Our society, the way that things have always gone is it's a man's world. And, we have the Me Too movement, and there's still this conversation of women being seen in a lesser role than men. Instead of us celebrating and understanding that our unique differences between men and women are just differences, it's not a who's better than in any competition, whether saying that women are better or saying that men are better. We're equal. However, we as women have been brainwashed into believing that love and finding your man and your soulmate is the purpose of your life, and that you need that. And there's always going to be women who automatically will be like, oh no, hell no, that's not me, blah, 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 blah. But you are currently dealing with a bunch of bullshit that you shouldn't be dealing with, but you are, because you're in love. You cannot change a person. People only change because they want to. And people are not going to want to change because you want them to. That's just not how it works. There are so many intelligent, beautiful, smart, funny, just wonderful, dope-ass women in situations that they know they need not be in, but they hold this glimmer of hope that maybe the person will change, or they've begun to believe the bullshit that they cannot go get someone else, or they don't want to leave this person because they think that they might be better with the next person, or women feel like they have no place to go. I can't do it on my own. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to start over. Lady, mama, baby, that's bullshit. This is one of those situations that you have to be very careful in, because women, we're very strong and we can take a lot. I mean, after all, we have periods, right? So every single month we have this thing. Nature comes in, fucks us up, yo. We're bleeding, we're cramping, mood swings, all kinds of crazy shit, right? And we just got to deal with it. I think that type of shit programs us into thinking that there's a lot of stuff that we just got to deal with. technology, medicine has helped, right? Helped us deal with it, right? As those things came in, I think, no, listen, I don't know if we could really, I really do believe that it does equate to one another, right? As those things came in, I feel like it's an internal thing, right? Instead of just bleeding, like it's just going, then, pads came along, and then tampons, and then, blah, 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 blah. You can learn that even if something is natural that happens and it's a wonderful, beautiful thing, you don't have to deal with the pain. There's ways to cope with it, right? Okay. And not all women have painful periods. Okay. I'm equating the pain of a period to what some people might think pain in relationships is okay, Now, don't get me wrong. You're not going to be in a relationship and it's just hunky-dory 24/7. I'm sure there's going to always be, no matter how great a relationship is, at some point in time, something that just there's friction, right? These days, right now, everybody feels, well, maybe not everybody, but there's a lot of people, there's a generation of people, there's a lot of people, fuck a generation, right? There's a lot of people who feel like this expression, fuck you and blah, 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 blah. We no longer talk about domestic violence. I feel like as a society, we act like it's not really happening anymore. It's something that used to happen, but men aren't doing that right now. Violence against women comes in so many different forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be him balling up his fist and hitting you. Him talking down to you. Cussing you out, calling you a bitch, calling you a this, calling you a that. That's fucking violence towards you. You cussing him out, smacking him, hitting up on his head, anything. That's violence towards him. Why are you doing that? Because you want to be heard? I've been in a situation where I've been chased around the country. Motherfucker showed up where I was at. Shit's real, My situation was not that bad as some things that I've heard. Before that ever happened to me, I was always one of those rah-rah women. Oh, that would never happen to me. Da-da-da-da-da. I can't believe. Why would she stay? Da-da-da-da. Here's the thing that I found out being in that situation is that there's a manipulation of the mind that happens, that when you guys first get together, you're a very beautiful, confident, wonderful woman. And then things begin to happen and things are said where you slowly but surely begin to doubt and question yourself and wondering if you're enough and wondering what is it about you that is making this person so angry. You guys used to have it. It used to be so, right? Once that starts happening and you start now questioning yourself, then you start changing yourself. Something that I do believe honestly is that when women get into a relationships, that women who actually allow themselves to begin to change and morph into a different person because you're in a relationship, I do believe that men, now I'm not sitting here saying that it's the woman's fault. Please do not misunderstand me. A person's going to do whatever the fuck they're going to do. But we as women have a tendency to lose ourselves sometimes because we're so focused, We get into things and we are in that shit, We are in it to win it. We are there to make it happen. We are there to improve it, make it beautiful and all of that good stuff. And we are maternal. So when we love, and we give of ourselves. The thing that I've come to find out about giving of yourself to somebody, I don't think that that's what love is actually supposed to be. I think that love is supposed to be you're a whole person and you love yourself and you're loving your life and you like another person and you guys complement each other and there's a, there's a sexual attraction between the two of you. But it's not that he completes you or you complete him. It's more of you guys are complementary towards one another, right? And it works. There's synchronicity. There's it's simpatico. It's great. It's lovely. It's beautiful. It's, you know what I mean? When we're hurt, that's when we go looking for love and thinking that someone else is going to satisfy that hole. And they do for a while. But since nobody can ever satisfy your hole, unless it's in that way, since nobody can really ever satisfy your hole, it always ends up, fizzling out, whatever. And I don't think that every time you meet somebody, it's supposed to be this ever-ending relationship that, I don't think that that's supposed to happen. I think there's supposed to be great loves and great lessons and having a lot of fun and all of that good stuff and moving on and meeting another, you know. I do think that some people, they do find everything they're looking for, as in, you know, let me rephrase that. I do feel that there are people out there that go out and find a match to them. You know what I mean? They find what they're emitting, and it's ching, bah, woo, you know, bells, whistles, and people meet and fall in love and get together and be together for 80 years. I do believe in that. And that's great. But I also think that there's a lot of people who compromise themselves in order to save face or save relationships for kids, for money, for convenience, for whatever. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. If when you think about the person that you're with, you get that little heartbreak feeling in your heart. You know what I'm talking about, right? You love them, but you just wish it could be better. You know that feeling that I'm talking about, right? The thing is that I used to also be the type of person, well, why don't they just leave and whoop de whoop? Because the mental fuckery that happens, you really don't think that you can do it on your own. Or you don't want to do it on your own. That's going to be hard. I promise you it's not that hard. It's really not. It's actually quite fun. I wish that I could come with the words, because I'm not exactly trying to tell all of my business, right? But I do know that, speaking from experience, women take a lot. And then there becomes a point when you actually do get fed up, and then you try to leave. And you try to leave, but then the person comes back, or they're stalking you, or they're around, or whatever the situation may be. So you try to work it out. Try to work it out, but then the fights get worse, and da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. You guys break up again. Then you try to work it out, da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. And each cycle, every time, the fights and everything, it just escalates and gets worse and gets worse and gets worse. Some women don't make it out of that. I've had my life, you know. Listen, you cannot change a person. If you are going through this type of a situation, even if you love that person, I don't care how long you've been with that person, how long you've known that person, you're not going to get what you want inside the relationship that you are currently in. Now I'll talk about the laws. When you're in a relationship and that relationship is making you want something, our natural inclination is to think and to want what we're wanting in that relationship. Now, if you know about the laws and you know how to work your frequency so that you can actually get that in that relationship, when one relationship is causing you to want something out of that relationship, or want something, period, it will be in the next one. Because sometimes you cannot get what you're wanting in the place that is causing you to ask for it. You're not going to get the solution in the same place that you were in, that you asked for it. You're going to get the solution in a new place. You're going to get what you want in a new place. You may be crazy. Maybe you think you're not going to be able to get away. Listen, boo-boo, I got chased. I'm telling you. And yes, all that stuff is true. And yeah. But if you keep at it and you keep your stance and you learn how to stand your ground, you will be able to get out of the situation. And when I mean stand your ground, I'm like, you got to work your frequency, boo-boo. You got to think about the things that you want. And you got to feel it. You got to daydream. Nobody can take your thoughts from you. You're allowed to think what you want to think. And you can daydream just a little bit about what you want your life to be. And when you do that, when you spend a little bit of time doing that and you get the electricity inside you moving, then your life will begin to shift if you will listen to the voice inside your heart that is softly telling you how to get out. Because everybody's situation is different. So I can't tell you, you do this, you do this, you do this. You call the police, then you go to a shelter, and then you do this and you do that. No. Because everybody's situation is different. But you need to plot yourself a way out. Love doesn't hurt, and you cannot change a person. Your love, as beautiful and as wonderful as you are, is not changing anybody. That's not what your love is supposed to be doing anyway. Your love is not supposed to be changing things. Your love is supposed to be appreciating things as is, the way it is, no change, just appreciation. And if the thing that you love, if you are not appreciating that shit, you don't love that shit, so what are you doing? Your life is your life. And this pandemic, I would like to think that this pandemic would certainly have some lights going off. Now, the thing is that I'm sure that people have been arguing and bickering or whatever during this quarantine, because you've been up underneath each other for a while now. So, of course, there's been some fights. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Or some silence. It's probably not been fights because you can't go anywhere. So it's probably been more of the silent fight type thing that's been happening lately. But there shouldn't be fighting in a relationship. It's one thing to argue, have disagreements, you know what I'm saying? Get on each other's nerves, whatever. But even then, I just think that kind of stuff is weird. You're supposed to be with the person that you're with because you appreciate them, you like them, they make you feel good, you feel good, blah, 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 blah. Right? That's the whole reason why we get into relationships, why we're in love. But once it starts to change, we as women, again, tend to think that we can get it to go back. Well, it used to be like this, but now it's like this. And I understand. I'm not saying to you that once, you have a fight, get the fuck out of there, girl. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking to the women who are silently being hit, silently being verbally abused, silently being stalked, silently having their choices taken from them, silently who are suffering, silently who want to leave but don't know how. And to the women who may have just now realized that they got themselves into some shit. No man should be putting his hands on you. No man should be verbally abusing you. No man should be constantly having to know your whereabouts, be in your phone. No man should be stalking your social media, telling you about who you should be liking and who you don't like. Women shouldn't do that either. It's fucking social media. Please let them fucking be. Who cares if they're in their fucking DMs? If that motherfucker is going to fuck around with some bitch in their fucking DMs, being with you is not going to motherfucker stop them. Do you understand? Like, people are going to do what the fuck they want to fucking do, So as long as you're in a good relationship that you are happy in and you are being respected in, then you're going to respect that other person. That other person is going to respect you, right? So you don't really need to worry about that. Let a motherfucker get a little flirtation going on. You're not going to stop that. You're not going to stop your man from walking down the street and seeing another chick. It's not going to fucking happen. So relax. Get confident in yourself and don't worry about that shit. He is not going to stop another man from looking at you. So if you got a dude who's like, why you wearing that? Why you doing that? Why you woo to woo? Woo, 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 woo. Girl, those are red flags. If you got a man calling you out your name, those are red flags. And you need to go on ahead and leave now, girl. And sometimes we need help. Ask for the help. And don't ask your goody two-shoe friends. You need to ask one of your friends that been through some shit. Because let me tell you something. Getting out of a fucked up relationship, you need some motherfucking bitches that have been through some shit. Because it ain't going to be just as simple as, oh, I'm walking out the motherfucking door. No, bitch, you need a goddamn game plan. You heard? Seriously, just keeping it real with you. Get a fucking game plan. Don't write it down. Keep it in your head. Keep it in your mind. Just know what it is that you're going to do. Can you tell I'm just recently having to deal with somebody that I know in a situation? Yeah. Smart, beautiful woman. No reason to be in this situation. But when you want to play Captain Save-A-Ho, and listen, I have definitely done that, right? Women are just as guilty as being Captain Save-A-Ho as men. We want to get some projects, try to rescue them, and think that we can doll them all up, fix them all up, get it all together, and girl, you know. That's my little handiwork right there. Girl, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that for the ones who are worthy of your love and your appreciation and your tender touches and your stylistic ways about you that will help him be the fucking king that you see in him, that don't nobody else see but you. Only do that for a man who's worthy of that. There's no man out there who's worthy of you giving yourself away, of you accepting less than what you know. And if you don't know, I'm here to tell you, you deserve the best. I don't care what situation you grew up in, what you've done. It doesn't matter. You deserve the best. You deserve to be happy. And if you're not happy, if you're in a situation that is getting out of control, first and foremost, get help. And listen, I ain't gonna bullshit you. Calling those hotlines and doing all of that, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But what I mean is you need to get yourself a situation where somebody that you trust, somebody that probably doesn't necessarily know your guy, somewhere that you can go for a few. Because what you need to do is you got to get out and you got to hide out, and then you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? If you got some male family members, then hey. The thing about it is though there's always the get back, and that's where it's at. Women can get out, but then always there's a get back where the guys come back and he's going to change and and he says all the right things, and you haven't had sex in a while, and so you know what I'm saying? Get a little dickmatized, think that everything's going to be all right because everything's cool right now. I just want you to know, ladies, that every time you do the go back, and I don't care if you had an abusive relationship or not, even if you just had a normal relationship, but y'all fight, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Every time you do the breakup and the go back, trust and believe shit gonna be worse. Because even though he wanted you back and you wanted him back and all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Both of you know that you already did bullshit to each other and you guys went back. So you know the buttons to push. So you know you've already pushed those buttons. So now you got to push more buttons, because, I called you a donkey face, 3 times already. I can't keep calling you a donkey face. Now I got to talk about, your ear acne or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, that's just, of course we need to be together. I'm just saying that, ladies, since I truly believe that we are vibration and electricity, which, is interpreted with vibration. I really truly believe that what you are emitting, so the things that you've been through in life cause you to have certain beliefs. And those beliefs are most of the time not true. It's just true of that person and true of that group of people. You know what I mean? And when I mean people, I don't mean like, a whole group of people. I mean that motherfucker type of person. Because you know how you meet a type, right? And you know how you meet that type and you meet that type, and that type be looking like all different shades, size, colors, and woo whatever, whatnot. But that motherfucking type is a goddamn type. Kind of like the zodiacs. You know what I'm saying? So if you are getting involved with that type and you see that you are involved with that type, you're not going to change that type. That type could change, but he's only going to change, or she's only going to change when they want to. It's not your job to change them. It's your job to stay safe. Put the mask on yourself. Take care of you. So first things first, I'm a big believer of energy. So before you go running out, before you go doing anything, you got to change the way you think and feel first. Because you ain't even going to leave. Even if you've noticed that, oh yeah, this is fucked up shit. You still don't leave. You don't leave until the mindset changed. And you need to be reminded of what love actually is and how love actually feels. And if you have children, that's a very good way to understand and know what love feels like. But people might think to themselves, well, that's a different type of love. Yes, it is. But it's still supposed to be pure like that, right? If you can't love your man fully as is, or if you can't love your chick fully as is, meaning that you ain't changing a motherfucking thing about this person, quirks and farts and all. If you don't feel that way, then you need to get the fuck out of your relationship, whether abuse is happening or not, because you're killing yourself. And there's really no need for that. It's not worth it. It's not. You got to give yourself the love that you're searching for first. So then that way, once you give yourself the love that you're searching for, that love is going to then search for you. Until then, you have a lot of fun figuring out whether or not that love is, you know what I'm saying, whether that love matches or not. Because I certainly ain't saying be by your motherfucking self. No, 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 no. There's a saying that one way to get over another is to get underneath a person. Well, there's that saying, but I'm just saying when you do shit like that real quick, you just gonna keep on finding that same type. You gonna find that type. He gonna look different, but he gonna be that motherfucking type again. You gotta do the inner work first. If you are here, you're loved. You're part of the system. You're breathing. Your cells are going. Your heart is literally beating without you telling it to do that. You're breathing without you telling your body to breathe. Hair is growing without you telling it to grow. Lots of things going on without you telling it to do it. So you are obviously loved. Something programmed you, right? So something loves you, you know? Once you start doing that and you start feeling what love actually is, if you can then just daydream just a little bit while you're in your situation, just daydream about what you want your life to look like, how you want to feel. I don't necessarily mean daydream where you're actually seeing yourself doing these things, okay? I mean, you can just feel it. You just feel, what would it feel like to be, to be doing things on your own, to have your own place, to be paying your own bills and do what you want to do and go where you want to go, have your own friends and to be going out and meeting great guys and having fun and taking trips. How does that feel? Feel that and daydream about that just a little bit throughout your day. Once you start doing that, you start making a game plan with your girlfriends or with somebody far away. However the heck you got to do it. You do it with somebody that you trust. You start making yourself a game plan. Next step is execution. You never leave in the middle of a fight. Do you understand me? Don't you ever do that. Your emotions are high. You're feeling all crazy, blah, 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 yada, 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 bullshit. When you come back down and you're calm again, you're going to forget about everything else and, just be wanting the D or wanting the pussy, whatever the fuck it is, wanting to get that little makeup session going on. So, and then you go back, okay? Never leave after a fight. You have made a game plan. You fucking leave in the middle of the day when motherfuckers is at work, when motherfuckers went to the store. Okay? All right? Okay? You do it when you're calm and you make the decision that this is what you're doing. And then after you've left, you line up with your decision. You don't accept the phone calls. You don't go back. You're not talking about it. We're not getting closure. We're not doing none of that shit. Because that is the trap and that is where you get got and you and your little hopeful, heartfelt self. I've been there. This is why I'm talking shit, okay? The little part in you that hopes and wishes and just wanted that person to change and wanted them to see the light. Here's the Dr. Phil bullshit going on and you fucking go back and then shit is worse. And some people, again, don't get out of it after that, okay? All right? So you've made the decision and now you're going to line up with it. The next thing you're going to do after that, you're going to take steps to do whatever it is that you've been dreaming of doing. A knitting class, pottery class, learning how to dance, art, podcasting, painting, rock climbing, coupon clipping, whatever the fuck it is that you've been wanting to do, you take a step towards doing that. Okay? And while you're in your hideout place, or if you have the money to go and get a new place, then every chance you get for the first few weeks, you do something that pleases you. Once you start doing this and you get this going, the momentum, your angels, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, Papa, will start to take over and will clear the pathway for you. But you got to trust and you got to believe and you got to feel love, not fear. Stop staying somewhere out of fear. I got chased around the country. I've had guns held to me, car chases with police. I could go on and on and on. I'm telling you these things because I've done it. And I got out and I'm living and I see too many women. And the thing is, let me tell you something. If this helps you to make you feel better, hurt people hurt people. Okay? And so the reason why you're trying to help that person is because you know that the person needs help. The thing is that you cannot be the one to give it to them. They have to give it to themselves. And men, I'm not, bashing on men who hit women, even though, I'd be justified. Men are only doing that to women because of the bullshit that they got going on in their head. And you need fucking help. You should be able to use your words. I hope that you never have to experience an abusive relationship. It takes on many fucking forms. Physical, mental, verbal. But if you do, I hope it makes you stronger and wiser and better, not bitter. I hope you understand that not all men are horrible. There's so many dope-ass, good men out there. I hope you understand and know that being alone does not mean lonely. It's not worth staying in a relationship because you're scared to be alone. Trust me, it's a lot more fun than they try to make it seem on fucking TV. All right. Remember that we all are connected to Source because it's only one. We're all living, breathing here on this planet that we did not create. And you didn't even create yourself. And your parents' sex and sperm and egg didn't create it either. There was a whole lot of magic and electricity popping off in that mug, right? So there is help out here. If you lean into it and expect it to show up, it will help you. But I want you to stay safe. Because I've been there. The shit's scary and you don't know what to do. And you are confused and you don't know how to get out of it. But I really just gave you a game plan. It's how I got out. It's how I went after my stuff. It's how I've stayed satisfied. And then well enough to know when I then see red flags in other situations, I'm good. And I want you to be good too. Ladies, stay safe out there. Don't wait for Prince Charming to freaking come and save you, honey. Save yourself.
This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
Hey there. So listen, I am so excited because my little baby is growing and I am just I'm feeling like a proud little parent over here. I'm talking about manifest beauty. It's been a phrase that I've been saying for quite some time. And whenever I would tell people that's a company name, they'd be like, what? But now when I say manifest beauty, people kind of understand. We're not talking about beauty aesthetics, but we're talking about when you take your life and you create beauty in the world, regardless of what has happened to you. There are some things I've picked up on, some patterns, some energies, some coincidences, timing, synchronicities, all of that good stuff that I noticed over the course of my life and would always talk about it with people and they'd be like, girl, you should put it in a book. Well, I did. So it's Manifest Beauty. Go online, check it out. If you're into consciousness, if you're into creation, if you're into manifesting, I got some real good gems in there for you so that you can show yourself that you are the bomb and that you are connected to Source. So go online. It's on Walmart.com, Amazon.com, and a few other places that sell books as well. Manifest Beauty. Written by me, Sanja Denise.